Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The show is about to begin.
And hello and welcome to episode 146 of On the Bench, the podcast for scale modelers, by scale modelers, all about scale models. And this episode is being brought to you by two of our newest Patreon supporters, Dave Osborne and Tim Cavalier. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for your wonderful support. And don't forget, you too can help support the show. All you need to do is just go to www.patreon.com/onthebench and just quote any amount from as little as just $1 per month upwards. All contributions are greatly appreciated by us here on the show, and they help us with our production and hosting costs as well. And hello and welcome to the show. And in the studio I have with me Ian.
G'day Dave, g'day Julian, g'day listeners.
Julian.
Good morning.
Happy birthday to you.
Stop. I don't like this.
Birthday to you.
I can't stand that. I really can't. Oh, this is why I don't tell people my birthday normally. I've got to change it on Facebook.
It's on Facebook, man. It's all over Facebook.
Yeah, I know. But I don't tell my co-workers and things like that because I hate that stupid song.
Well,
it's not like I haven't heard it many times before.
Yeah.
Like a broken record, and the only thing worse than that song is all the sort of ones that are similar. You know, the ones that are there to avoid copyright or whatever it is, because whoever it was has copyrighted it.
Yeah.
Hollywood somewhere,
something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, look at all the.
So you're 21 again?
No, I think I haven't done the math, but it's I think I'm 39.
You're just a young'un.
Every now and then I calculate it properly, and then I'm like, okay.
It's just a number.
I didn't really gain anything by knowing that.
It's just a number.
That's it.
Yeah, 100%.
I suppose I should figure out when the big 40 is rolling around, though. I'm pretty sure it's next year.
You do something special for that?
No, not really.
Yeah.
I might go out to dinner somewhere nice or something.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
What's news with you guys? Let's start with you, Ian. What you been up to since the last show?
Still working on the Vargas scale models, 1/35 scale. Frott, Termly, Laffley, French World War I armoured roller.
Oh, there you go. How's that working out for you?
Yeah, it's not bad. It's let's see, it's a 3D print.
Yep.
It's basically a box on what looks like a steamroller type chassis. So it doesn't have a front wheel. It's got like a big roller. Complete failure in the field. I don't think it went past prototype stage. It's got a few print defects that are just in areas where you're just going to lose too much detail to try and fix them. So I've just been a lazy bugger and just cheated and made those areas, hidden them as well I could with scratches and so forth.
But it looks like you've been having fun building it, though.
Yeah, well, it's got about 12... Oh, hang on. About 12 pieces. So it's not many bits to work on.
So you're straight into the painting pretty much?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Glued it together, painted it. Got myself a little French guy in 35th scale to put, which I'm going to start tackling this weekend, to put on the base, cut the base and stain that, so the base is on its way to be getting ready to be done. Got a few bits on from B&A during the week. Got some Gen 3 AK metallic colours. I've been hearing a lot about that. They're quite good and got very small metallic pigments in them, so that you don't get that those big glary bits when you're painting it. What else? I get a 1/35 scale Bodie miniatures World War I Doughboy. What else I get? Why
do they call them Doughboys?
I have no idea why they were called Doughboys.
Maybe one of our US listeners would be able to write us in, educate us as to why they call them
why they call
doughboys.
them doughboys back in the First World War. Got some 3D printed 1/350 scale US sailors. What do I get? About 150 of those.
What are they for?
Oh, eventually they'll go on the Yorktown.
Okay.
I'm collecting figures. I think I'm about up to about 300 or 400 figures now for the Yorktown. I want to get more.
Yeah.
I want to have at least 600 figures.
Well, how are you going to model? What sort of? Obviously, you're going to do a diorama or something, or
Well, it's not going to be in water,
Right,
but I'm
okay.
going to have like I was thinking about having the deck being spotted,
yeah, okay,
either getting ready for a mission or return from a mission. So either the aircraft at the back of the flight deck or the aircraft at the front of the flight deck. I haven't quite gotten that far yet. I've been spending so much money on that kit.
yeah.
Like I thought the Shikaku was an expensive build. I think I've nearly probably doubled what I've spent on aftermarket on the Yorktown.
Oh my god!
But yeah, that's been years. I've had that kit now for, close to 5 or 6 years.
That's the
if not
trumpeter
longer.
one?
Yeah,
Yeah,
for a long time. And every
Yep.
time I see something, I'll get that for that kit and so forth. So I'm continually just getting bits for it, and because one day I will start it. What else do I get? And I bought an Edward photo etch set for me Mert.
The Mert,
The Mert. Yes. The plane that looks stupid.
Japanese recon aircraft.
Yeah, basically a recon
Yeah.
aircraft, yeah. They did use... I was reading a bit where they actually used them as an AWAC for their fighter squadrons. They'd get them up real high and then they'd be able to spot where the Allies were and then be able to
Coordinate the kamikaze assaults.
kamikaze assaults or going after the American bombers and so forth. So yeah, that's basically what I've been up to.
Cool.
Oh, and I got an email from Dora Wing saying my order for me Vengeance has been processed. So
Very nice.
hopefully that'll come in the next few months. I understand it's a slow process considering where it's coming from
Yeah.
and the situation they're in. But
Ukraine,
yes. But yeah. So that's about it on my end. Tomorrow I plan to start painting my little Frenchman. So I
there
get
you
to get to paint some bright blue pants.
Enchanté.
Yes.
Julian.
Yeah, so I ended up buying a car kit
Oh,
again.
really?
Yeah. So
That's unusual.
yeah. Well, this time I splashed out. I bought the Hobby Design Porsche 911 DLS.
Yep.
So that's a Singer Porsche, if you know what that
a
is.
Singer Porsche.
Yeah. So Singer do like modifications of old air-cooled Porsches, and they're very expensive. They run up to like $1.8 million.
What?
Yeah. They're like I don't know. It's like
Being a singer, can it hem your pants?
No. But I mean, they do like very fancy interiors and things like that to them, and there's carbon fiber everywhere, and you know how it is. Porsche for Porsche enthusiasts, I guess.
Yep.
In any case, this is a model. I've always thought it'd be cool to have a model of one, but there's never been a model. Well, I found one and I bought it, and it cost me some $260.
So what's the model company that produces it?
It is Hobby Design. So they
Right.
normally do like a lot of aftermarket sets and things for various car kits. You know, they'll have photo etch and some resin. Some of them are conversion kits with the wider quarter panels, so that you can the flare out the wheels for the wheels and things like that.
So this is a full resin kit?
This one's a full resin kit. Yeah,
Right.
2 big pieces of resin, top and bottom, and then there's like all the bits and pieces inside. And
And it's got photo etch.
it's got lots of photo etch. It's got lots of everything in there. It's got some beautifully printed, like I'm not sure if they kind of look like decals, but they're not. They're like for the Porsche badge, and it's got it in like gold, and it's perfectly printed. No, it's perfectly in registration. and
3D
it's-
printed or just a flat?
I think it's flat, mostly flat, but it's proper gold. Like it's not like glittery in any way.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is or how they do it, but
The
it's
thing I
kind of
like about
amazing.
the kit too is the windscreens and the window glazings. They've all got the black rubber around them.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like the and on top of that, they give you steel photo etch for the on the sides around the windows, because on the real car it's got like a chrome thing that goes all the way around all the windows.
Oh, you trim.
Sort of, yeah. But it's not. It's flat. It's flat trim.
Yep.
It's not like the sort of like, like rod of chrome that sort of went around the windows back in the old days on things. Yeah, and it's got like a rudimentary motor. And the only thing I don't like about it is that the engine
Cover,
I guess, like the hood, but on the rear of the car is undersized.
Oh.
And
So it doesn't fit?
It doesn't really fit, but kind of fits. I don't mind the play sideways. It's along the top where it sort of meets the part that comes down underneath the rear window. There's a huge gap in there. So I'm going to have to build that up a little bit with some card.
Or pose it open?
I can't really pose it open.
Okay.
Because even though it does give you hinges in photo etch, it doesn't provide enough of the sort of, because if you actually look at the car, there's like all this sort of paneling around the sides and around the entrance of where the engine is, of the engine bay, and there are like details there, like the little latch for where it hooks it closed, right? None of that's there, and I would want that there if I was going to do it.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm quite excited about it. I've already broken it though.
Have you?
Yeah, I was test fitting things because it's got like the way it works is like portions of like where the rear seats. The rear seats is a piece that you don't glue into the bottom chassis type part. Instead, you sort of hook it up and around the corner from below into the upper body. And so I had that in there, and then I had the door cards that drop in as well. And I'm test fitting all that sort of stuff, and then one of the A-pillars broke because I was putting too much pressure on something. So it actually broke into two pieces.
Oh, dude.
And so I had to glue these two pieces together and glue them onto the car. And I won't know until I've got some primer on it how well I've done it.
Yeah.
But I feel I've done a pretty decent job of putting it back together. At least it's not bent because it's a clean, like sort of brittle. It's resin, so it's brittle, right? So it's sort of snapped cleanly, and it all goes back together cleanly. Unlike things that I've had break in plastic where at the breaking point it's bent.
Yeah,
you'll never ever get it back.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what about you, Dave?
Oh wait, sorry. Let me just also. I'm still working on the Celica or Celica, depending on.
Celica is the only word you can use.
No. The Americans, our friends across the pond, they call it a Celica.
Well, they're doing it wrong.
I would contend that there's no real. I mean, unless you're Japanese,
you'd have to ask the Japanese.
Yeah.
Okay, they're wrong, and I'll prove that they're wrong.
Okay.
How do you spell the name Craig? CRAIG.
Mm-hmm.
How then do you get that spelling and then you pronounce it Craig? See what I mean? So if they can't even get that name right, then they've definitely got the name Celica wrong.
This is an area where there's lots of grey.
There's no grey, dude. I'm telling you.
Look at all those Irish names, man.
What Irish names? Like Patrick.
Like Siobhan, and it's spelled Sioban.
Yeah, but you can understand that because that's the Gaelic mix coming into it. So and the Irish are the Irish. So you make exceptions for them.
Okay.
But the Americans. Nah. What about the word roof? ROO. And they pronounce it woof.
Right. Well, this is the one. Okay, so this is the one that really sticks between American and Australian English is Yosemite.
All the hate mail we're going to get after this.
You've got Yosemite, and then you've got Vegemite, and they both end in the same letters, right?
Yeah.
But they're completely different spellings. Completely different pronunciations.
Pronunciation, yeah.
Pronunciations is what I meant. So Yosemite and then Vegemite. So does that mean that if I was going to say in Vegemite in an American accent, it would be Vegemite? Or should I be using my Aussie accent to pronounce Yosemite Yosemite? That one will keep you up at night, Dave.
Actually, if you really want to have a bit of a laugh, is what you do is you get like names like spectacles and bicycles, and then you pronounce them in classical Greek names.
Oh, Spectacles.
Spectacles, bicycles.
You know,
I came off my bicycles and hurt my testicles.
I played a video game, and there's a part. It's set in ancient Greece, and you get roped into participating in the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
And at first, you're supposed to guard the Spartan champion or whatever he is, and he's this really big dumb guy, and his name is Testicles. And he ends up, and he's like part of the mission is you have to find oil because he needs his special oil to rub down on himself, and he ends up falling off the edge of the pier and he gets eaten by sharks, and so you have to take his place in the Olympics.
Yeah.
And I was like, what do you mean he got eaten by sharks? He got eaten by sharks.
Bizarre.
Anyway, so the Celica, back on the Celica.
Celica! Don't say Celica!
Okay, I've said it enough times that I've forgotten which way it's supposed to be if I'm an Australian now. That's coming along. I painted it black, and then I've done a little bit of polishing on it because it's got enough coats of paint on it now. I especially the part on the rear where I had to fill that hole that I'd cut for the fuel tank. That area in particular has had so much paint laid down on it that I started to lose the panel lines. Right? So I got a needle and I scribed through it, and it just dug through paint, nothing but paint. And you know what that's like? It didn't actually come up too well, so I just sanded it a little bit. And it looks all right now.
Oh, it's good.
I just, and I'll need to give it another coat of black before I put the white numbers on it and stuff, and then I'll clear coat it, and hopefully it comes out pretty good. But I've learnt from this car model that there is no substitute for good surface preparation, and that your paint layers should just be as thin as you can possibly get it until you get to the clear, and then should go as thick as you can get away with on the clear.
When you're doing your clear, your first coat of clear, do you add a bit of the base colour to it?
Not if I want to tint my decals.
What?
You're gonna put? Because you decaled it,
Yeah.
Because what I find, is especially with car kits, before putting the decals on, I'd give it a clear coat anyway before the decals. But with that clear coat, I always put a bit of the original base colour in.
About 5%, 10%?
Yeah, about 10 to 15.
Yep.
Just enough that it's translucent, but in that way you don't get that step where it looks like you've got a sheet of glass over the top of your paint.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. That way the colour gradually leaches in to your clear coat. Mm. And I can remember when I was a young kid doing after school work for panel beaters, and that's what they used to do. They used to gradually put less of the base colour in until the last few coats were just clear, and the finish just used to come up absolutely magic. So rather than just have a base colour and then put clear over the top, which then, as I said, looks like if you're not careful, it can look like you've just dropped a sheet of glass over the top of the paint. But this way the colour leaches through and you get a more deeper finish.
Mm-hmm. Clever idea.
Okay. Well, for the Porsche, I was planning to do the metallic trick again because it's a metallic green that I want to do on it.
Yep.
So, I've done a test.
You should be able to get that colour through. Is it those automotive paint companies that do that for the car modelers?
Oh no! I'm not doing it like that. I don't like that method to start us off with because like most of those companies don't make the metallics small enough. Because this green is quite dark in person, but it depends. Like you look at photos of the car and some photos it looks lighter than others, it's a bit weird, and like only when you get the light on it can you see the metallic. Right?
Hey, how about a colour shift?
No, I don't like
green bronze.
No, I'm not into that. maybe if I was doing a lowrider or something like that, something that actually warrants it. But no, I'm not into that sort of thing. That's the Gundam territory, for like solar panels and things.
So what's this trick you're going to do?
Oh, it's the one where you spray it with like an aluminium type metallic, and then after that you tint it with green.
Oh, like a clear green.
Yeah, and so I've already done a test where I...
Hang on, wait, no, you've lost me. So you put down a base coat of aluminium.
Yes.
And then
you get a tinted colour, like the kind you use for
navigation
lights on aircraft models.
Oh, like a clear.
Yeah,
clear red. Yeah, okay.
Right? And then I've mixed that with a clear black.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it ends up too eye-gougingly green.
Right.
Too bright. And that dulls it down. For starters, it desaturates the green and also makes it a darker green.
Now, that's interesting you say that, because Darren Cook, when he does tints his canopies in his aircraft, he starts off with a smoke first, a black smoke. Mm-hmm. And then he applies the
gold.
The tint of the gold or the green or whatever it is he's doing for his canopy. And he says it's critical that you do that sort of smoke first. That it's obviously exactly the same as what you're doing.
Yeah, because otherwise the clear, it's not like regular.
And also, when he's doing canopies, you've got to do painting everything in reverse.
Yes,
because you're looking into.
Yes. So he does the smoke first, and he goes, and he's actually done a short YouTube on it, I think, and. When he does it, he says, the first time you do it, you go, oh my God, I've ruined the model, because you can see this sort of smoky, sort of translucent black on it. But then when you apply the other translucent colour on top of it, like a green, for example, or a gold, like we said, whatever it is, for some reason the black just takes away that starkness.
Yeah. Makes it stop looking so leery.
Yeah, interesting. I must play with it one day. It sounds like an interesting thing to do.
Yeah.
Well, you might have the opportunity to with all these sci-fi things you might be building in the next year.
Well, yeah. I've actually started on my Hawk.
Imagine building a tank with the clear candy.
Oh, God, no. No. I've started building
I started my first sci-fi build too.
Have you?
Yeah.
What?
Started my Andreas Miniatures Space Hunter.
All right.
Oh, cool.
Which is the Predator.
Oh, cool.
And you get a choice of him holding his arm up with a spear.
Yeah.
Or, even cooler, skull and spine.
Oh, yeah, do that one.
So I did the skull and spine.
You're going to have it wet with the blood dripping off it.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It has to.
Oh, remember I've got that, you can borrow it, because, you don't use much of it, the Blood for the Blood God paint.
Yeah, I'll borrow something.
Yeah, that's really good blood.
Good blood, yeah.
And you've got to. Have you watched the most recent Predator movie?
Prey.
I
watched it when it came out.
Oh,
as soon as it came out.
What a great show.
Brilliant movie.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved it. That's going back to the original. I thought going back to the original Arnie.
Yep. And while we're still right off the track,
I'm
going to continue with some more TV shows. I watched the Lord of the Rings of Power last night, and I thought it was absolutely sensational.
Right.
So if you're a big fan of Lord of the Rings and you enjoyed the Peter Jackson one, have a look at this one, because you won't be disappointed. The production quality is really, really good.
So they spent a few shekels.
They have, and I read somewhere it was quite expensive to do it, but geez,
I read that if it
really
flops, it may affect their future plans for streaming.
I can't see how it's going to flop. It's that good. It's really good.
A lot of people are boycotting it.
Yeah, but they're boycotting it because they're bloody
gatekeepers.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, let's not go into it.
No, let's not go into why they're gatekeeping. But anyway.
Well, I mean, if you want to know why they're gatekeeping or while the people are boycotting, you can look it up yourself. It's got nothing to do with models, that's for sure.
No, that's right. And I thoroughly enjoyed the show. I thought it was really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, no, back to the Celica.
Back to
no. We're talking about the Porsche.
Yeah. So the Porsche.
We finished speaking about the Porsche.
Yeah, I've mostly finished speaking about the Porsche. I'm looking forward to it, but I've got that many sci-fi things, and I feel like I need to do the sci-fi things because I want to get them done. I've got too many models to build within the next year. I'm not going to get them all done.
You better get them done.
I've for a different club, I've got like 2 fairly intensive armor builds to get done as well.
So you stretch yourself too thin, man.
Yeah, I'm always doing this, I mean, we all do it. We always have extra, models for an expo display, and we buy more than we actually built for it.
And then we do.
And so I've got 2. I've got the MLRS that I'm building. And that's quite an intensive build. That's got a lot of pieces. I was working on it last night because I thought I was getting close to finishing up the cabin, the interior, before I could paint it. So I was like, cool, I want to paint this thing by the end of tonight. So I just got to glue this in, glue that in, glue this in. It's like, a couple of hours later, I'm like, I've glued 30, 40 pieces into the cabin. I'm like, there's a lot more pieces in here than I thought there was. Just on the inside of the doors, there was 2 pieces of photo etch that I had to bend up and stick on. Yeah. I got it done though. So now all I got to do is like put all the there's lots of decals in there and lots of brush painting to do. They got all these I think they're like heating vents, like there's like ducting all underneath the dash.
Yep.
That I got to paint in orange. It's very interesting. In any case, it'll be fine. I'll leave one door open is what I'm going to do. I'll leave one door open, and then I'm going to have I should be able to have the missile turret thing on the back movable, so I'll be able to pose it, aiming off to one side or however they do it.
Cool.
Yeah. It's kind of linked. It's got a shared sort of origins to the HIMARS thing that's getting all the publicity lately.
Yes, over in Ukraine and all that sort of stuff. It's the
same sort of like missile package, but this one's got 2 and it's less mobile because it's on tracks rather than wheels.
Cool.
And then after that one, I'm doing that in finish markings, with the splinter camo.
All right. Yep.
And then I'm also doing another splinter camo finish Leopard 2.
Oh, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
Let's go.
35th.
Not 72nd.
I wouldn't want to paint a 72nd scale splinter camo on a tank, no smooth surfaces, so you got to...
True.
I know. At least the MLRS is mostly just a box.
Yes.
Well, what I've been up to is just about finished that rocket, although I'm not happy with the decals, so I'm going to go back and rip the decals off and paint them on there, I've decided. But by and large, it's finished.
Yep.
Just going to do that. I gave my Iwata Neo a run for the first time, and oh my
The Eclipse
Lord.
or the Neo?
No, the Neo. Oh my Lord.
Which one is it? This one?
Where have these things been? Why haven't I purchased one in the past?
Because they've been expensive, that's why.
Well, I got them in the US at the show over there in Omaha, and oh my giddy aunt, it's just glorious to use. Hardly any cleanup afterwards. Sprays beautifully. There's not looking down into the bowl after you finish spraying, and you've given it a quick clean out with some thinner or something after. There's nothing. It's just not a speck of paint in there.
Oh, lovely!
It's that well engineered, and I can see now. I can now understand why people say they don't clean their airbrushes, because there's nothing to clean. So yeah, and it sprays beautifully as well. And I haven't used the Eclipse yet, but I'm really excited about using that.
I've got
in
an
the future.
Eclipse. I've got an Eclipse. I think mine's got a different cup on it, maybe. But yeah, generally speaking, I've got exactly the same as that.
So
it's my workhorse.
I can't recommend. I mean, it must be people sitting out there listening to this going, "Oh, you idiot, Dave!" We've been using it in the past.
I'm sitting here thinking that.
And I must admit, I've used cheap airbrushes in the past, but I can now understand why you pay that extra few shekels to get a decent airbrush.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So yeah, it's just absolutely glorious and wonderful. Right. Well, how about we have a very short break and a word from one of our sponsors, and we'll be back to have a look at some listener mail, and I think the Falcon might have dropped us an email too about some new stuff that's coming along.
Good to hear.
So we'll be back very shortly. The Scale Model Supply. Certified Australian made, The scale model supplier has a comprehensive range of premium acrylic lacquer paints that have been specifically developed to cater to the scale modeler. Designed to use straight from the bottle, SMS paints have taken all the guesswork out of airbrushing. Simply shake, pour and spray for a fast drying and extremely durable result. But wait, there's more. SMS have just released the new water-based range, Infinite Colour. It is the ideal paint for anyone who is into miniature painting. And with 48 colours that can be mixed to create any colour you want, the possibilities are, well, infinite. The ever-growing range of SMS paints will suit all types of model builders, be it military, aircraft, train, car, science fiction, or even Gunpla. SMS paints will have a colour to suit you. Available now through selected stockists worldwide and online at www.scalemodeler.com.au. Okay, we're back, and we've got a few listener mail emails that have popped in, so let's dive into the mailbag and see what they all have to say. Danny St. Laurent sends a note in, which is for Ian, actually.
Oh, okay.
And he wants to know where you got your StarCraft Space Marine from. Is it a model kit? Many thanks.
Yeah, it is a model kit, and I'm pretty sure I purchased it at a game shop where they sell computer games.
Oh, really? Okay.
Because a lot of the times you go to those computer game stores now and they've got all the memorabilia and stuff like that, and I'm pretty sure I got it. I've had it for, God knows how long. I suppose it came out, I bought it pretty soon after the original StarCraft came out, which was, well over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm pushing my memory.
More like 20.
Like 20 years ago then, yeah, really pushing my memory. But, yeah, it's a basic plastic model kit.
Maybe have a look at when you get home and shoot me a line and I'll reply to...
Well, I can't remember exactly where I purchased it, but, yeah, like I said, it's just a model kit. It is a model kit.
Yeah, it must have a manufacturer's name on it, though, or something.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Cool. Dave Osborne sent us an email with some pictures of his GB racer that he's building.
Very cool. Love the GBs.
Oh, it's sensational. And it's definitely getting some excellent detail into that kit. And given it's only a small kit, 72nd scale, I want to say.
What brand is it?
I don't know. I can't tell. Model Redoute.
Could be a...
It's a French one by looks of some description. But it's a very basic sort of kit. But, oh my goodness, it's small.
Yeah. I remember the Williams brothers bought one out in 1/32nd scale. I built when I was a very young fella. And
Anyway,
even that in 32nd scale was tiny.
Dave, it was fantastic, those pictures. And he also continued on with an email saying, "G'day, Dave and Julian. Been listening to the podcast for almost a year, along with about 6 other modelling podcasts, and thoroughly enjoyed them. Sorry I haven't listened to them all yet, but I was particularly keen on the ones with Richard Alexander as a guest. Although I couldn't make it to Omaha, I was absolutely thrilled that the three of you made the trip and had a great time and saw some really cool things and encountered some gracious and welcoming Americans."
We did.
He writes on he's actually been to 5 Nats, Virginia Beach, Columbus, Phoenix, and Chattanooga, as well as last year in Vegas. So he understands what an awesome time it is. So Dave actually hails from Lyman, Maine, USA. And Lyman apparently is a little town in York County near Kennebunk. I guess I'm saying that right.
Kennebunk.
They don't even have a post office place is that small. He's also building at the moment. He's got a Revell 148 scale FA 18E Super Hornet.
Nice.
That he's building with the Pete Mitchell markings.
That's a lengthy email.
I know. And also got a Hella EC121 Warning Star. Yes, we know it's Hella, but it's a constellation frame, so it's so cool. And there isn't anything else in that 72nd scale. Anyway, he says, sorry for the long email. Don't worry about that, mate. We love getting nice emails from everybody.
Yeah, we'll read it properly. But it'd be a bit boring if we read it out here.
Yeah. Oh, well, absolutely, yeah. And, it's great to hear from you, so thanks very much for that, Dave.
Very much appreciated, Dave.
Now, Malcolm Childs, good friend of the show from Models for Heroes, and also he's got his own podcast. Goodness gracious, the name
Small Subjects?
No.
Sorry.
Oh, Malcolm, I'm so sorry.
Terrible.
I've just got his mental blank.
Dave's lost the plot.
No, I haven't lost the plot at all. It's just making conversation.
Yes.
Sorry, I had a senior moment then. Just very quick note for you all to say that I have very much appreciated your auditory works of late.
Oh, thank you.
I've been working on a new shed, and just to have the company while working is fantastic. I've been listening to the other pods too about scale modelling, and I feel quite blessed to have the opportunity to vacuum up on all the great content. Thank you for making your podcast, even if I have to listen to it upside down. Best wishes, Malcolm Childs. And Malcolm is being very kind there, and what he fails to mention is that he also has a fantastic podcast as well, which I highly recommend everybody goes across and listen
and
to.
also he's a chairman for Models for Heroes.
Yes, which is a fantastic... whose phone's that ringing? Oh, that'll be in. Which is a fantastic charity which is designed for people who used to be in the Defence Force or as first responders, and just giving them model kits to help them
with PSD
get through their issues.
Yeah.
Thomas Schry writes in, "Hi guys, long time listener, and not just to your podcast but all the others, and I want to say a big thank you for what you three guys do for scale models around the world. As you know, the last few years have been extremely stressful, and I know personally that listening to you and the other podcasts has helped me get through these troubling times and helped to improve my modelling. I just finished listening to your episode 143 on Omaha, and I wanted you to know that the name of the gentleman who made the GM Futureliner is Dave Falk.
Yeah, that just blew my mind, that thing.
He is from my home state of Wisconsin and is a master scratch builder. He has done quite well at previous nationals and is just the nicest gentleman that you'd ever want to meet. I believe the Futureliner was in 1/24th scale, and it was pretty much scratch built by Dave. He's meticulous with his research, construction, painting and weathering techniques, while at the same time wouldn't hesitate to stop and either answer a question for another modeller or indeed even assist them. It's like you podcast guys always say, there are a great number of wonderful people in this hobby of scale modelling, which there certainly is, 100%. By the way, do you, any of you guys have plans to visit the US for 2024? It's being held in Madison, Wisconsin. And if you guys come up, I'd like to buy you a dinner of deep fried cheese curds and authentic Wisconsin bratwurst.
Bratwurst.
And one of our locally produced craft beers. Well, I'll tell you what, Tom, I'll take you up on the bratwurst and the craft beer, but the fried cheese curds.
Could be nice, you don't know. Never had it.
It's got cheese in it.
It's got cheese.
Yeah. Wisconsin has a rich history in German immigrants bringing their beer-making traditions to Wisconsin. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever.
No.
And once again, thank you all for what you do for our hobby. Well, Tom, I'm planning on 2024 Wisconsin. I don't know about the other two characters. Ian's going to be busy planning for Texas next year.
Yep, and 2024, I think I'm going to Holland to the World Model Expo.
Wow! So
that is the plan.
The team's splitting across the world.
Yeah,
like
well,
a big
from
diaspora.
what I've heard, the World Model Expo, that's one that Chris Meddings went to.
Yeah.
That's just gonna blow my mind.
Do you know any Dutch at all? Do you speak Dutch at all?
I haven't spoken Dutch for many years, but I still can get around. And one of the guys who's planning on going with me is also Dutchman, so
okay.
We should be able to get around quite easily, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
Terrific. Next one comes from Alex Bissett. G'day once again, benchers. I had the chance to listen to episode 142 and was pleasantly surprised to hear my name mentioned. I feel I've made it. I thought I'd send you a couple more shots of my M4105 HVSS, which is in the paint shop right now and almost ready for markings. I hope you like it.
Very nice.
It's a very nice sort of it's a few pictures that he sent through of his M4. No worries, Alex. Thanks for the email, mate. Really appreciate it. All right, that's it for the mailbag, apart from what the Falcon has sent through to us. But I think we might just have a... No, we'll dive straight into it. I think
Yeah,
we'll keep going.
Yeah.
All right. Before we hear from the Falcon, I have got some news on a TV show.
Mm-hmm.
And it is called Steve Meneghetti's... I hope I got that name right.
More than likely you haven't, but keep going.
Steve His last name's spelled Magnante.
Magnetti.
Magnante or something.
Yeah.
Steve Magnante's Supermodels, which is a half-hour TV show on a cable channel here in Australia called Foxtel, and it's on the Turbo channel, channel 143, starting Monday night at 9:30, and it's about model building American muscle cars.
Yeah.
So I just want to point out here, you may or may not recall, a couple of years ago on this show, I mentioned doing a TV show on model building. So I'm just going to trot down and better still, I'll ring up my good lawyer in the US, Kentucky Dave, and I might see about a lawsuit on this because I had the idea first.
Yeah, good on you.
Actually, it'll be interesting to watch. And,
it'd be good. It'd be very good.
And to think that modelling is now sort of broken through onto that medium, it's been a long time coming.
Yeah.
And
because that you can't get more mainstream than that.
No. And he's just concentrating on cars. So for all you car builders out there who've been crying out for more content, have a look at and check this guy out.
Yeah, definitely. Totally agree.
All right. What has the Falcon got to say? Hi, Dave, Ian and Julian. Aircraft news. Many moons ago, Hobby said they would be announcing an all-new 1/72nd scale aircraft kit after a delay of a month or two. The announcement has finally been made. It's a new 1/72nd scale kit of the Bell P39Q Air Cobra. It suggested recently they would probably be dropping PE from future releases. Looks like that starts now, as a P39 doesn't include any photo etch parts. However, it does come with special weights to ensure the model isn't a tail sitter. There's going to be 5 decal options, 3 US, 1 Italian
co-belligerent.
Okay.
Air Force. Yep.
And 1 Polish. Interestingly, there's no Soviet ones.
Yeah.
So notably absent are the markings for the principal user, which was the Soviet Air Force. If you do have your heart set on a P39, it might be best to start looking into aftermarket decals.
Yep.
Dora Wings have shown a built-up test shot of their forthcoming C-48 scale Volti P-66 Vanguard fighter. We also have seen box art for the first release, which shows a British-marked Vanguard Mark 1. The other marking options in the first release are for 2 Swedish-marked aircraft, one overall metal and the other olive drab over neutral grey. They are a bit what-ify, while the Swedes ordered the type, they were never actually delivered. Big Plane Kits are showing sprues for their close to release 72nd scale Bayraktar TB2 drone.
They're the Turkish ones, aren't they?
Yes, correct.
Yes, the ones that have received much press lately.
And also, Big Plane Kits are doing a 72nd scale plastic injection kit of the Boeing P-8A Poseidon, which is expected to be released sometime in September 22. And I noticed it was getting quite a bit of chatter on the Aussie aircraft builders forums or Facebook pages. A new Ukrainian company X scale are showing very early renders of a 148 scale Blackburn Shark Mark II and III. There is next to no information on X scale, so I don't know if the kit will be injection plastic or resin or indeed even 3D printed. Haven't heard of them before, have you guys?
No, it's a new one
News
for
to
me.
Special Hobbies 48 scale Martin Baltimore is making progress, albeit slow. We've just seen some pics of the fuselage sprue. Think we'll have to be patient, but we will eventually see a kit, I am very sure. Rubicon Models are working on a new kit of a Bell UH-1DH helicopter in 156 scale.
That's bizarre.
And the Falcon Wright pause while Dave goes on a rant about strange scales. Well, what can I say? 56 scale.
But they've got a reason for it.
Rubicon Models is known for making armour kits in 56 scale, which is the preferred wargaming scale, also known as 28mm. So a 56 scale helicopter fits in perfectly with what they normally do.
Sounds like, yeah, that makes sense then.
Oh, it does make sense, I guess. IBG Models have announced their September aircraft releases. All are going to be in 72nd scale. There's a PZL IAR P11F Romanian fighter on skis, a Focke-Wulf FW190D-9 prototype, limited edition, and a MiG-29 in Polish Air Force Dackels, which is going to be an early version of the 29. And the MiG apparently is a trumpeter kit with 3D printed parts for the cockpit interior and is also a limited edition. Sword Models have just announced a 72nd scale kit of their Mitsubishi G4M1 Betty.
Oh,
It will be the first new 72nd scale early Betty since Hasegawa's, which I'm guessing is back in the 70s.
I think it was, yeah. It's a very old kit.
The new kit has recessed panel lines where the old Hasegawa kit had raised panel lines and raised rivets. That alone should make the new sword kit the Betty's builder's best buy. Say that 6 times fast. And finally, HK Models popped up out of nowhere with an announcement of the all-new 48 scale kit of the North American B-25J twin-engine bomber. The new modern 48 scale kit of the late B-25 will be very welcome. Look out for lots of monograms old B-25s on eBay in the next couple of months. HK Models are showing plenty of renders of what we are seeing, and what we are seeing looks pretty good so far. I'm sure the experts will let us know soon enough if HK have done a job properly or not. Car news. Jesus, this show's been very heavy on car stuff today.
Good.
Car news. Airfix will soon be releasing a 143 scale Jaguar E-Type sports car. The latest Airfix Workbench newsletter has an article about the development and design philosophy behind the new kit. The E-Type will be released as a starter kit, including the model, glue, a paintbrush, and 4 pots of paint. All right.
It's a starter kit to get kids into it.
The kit is aimed squarely at the first-time modeller and was designed to be extremely easy to assemble. The instructions are especially written to hold the novice builder's hand through each stage of construction, with the aim of making the whole experience easy and pleasurable at the same time, producing a model that the modeller can be proud of, and most importantly, make them want to do it again. Well, that's not a bad idea. Yeah, anything that bring people into the hobby.
There's just one problem with that.
The paint.
No, the subject. Kids don't care about Jaguar E-Types.
Yeah, but are they aiming at kids or are they aiming at adults?
Well, starters should be aiming at kids.
No, I think starters should also be aiming at adults as well. People have always thought, I wouldn't mind getting into a model.
Right, okay.
But the parts count scares the heck out of them.
You know what happens when an adult buys stuff from IKEA? They go, I don't need the instructions. Right? Modelers still do that.
Maybe some of us do.
So if they see something that looks like a starter kit, they're like, I'm sure I can figure out how to do one of these proper ones. No, I'm going to do some starter kit. Starter kits are things you buy for kids. Otherwise, it feels too much like a kiddie's thing with the little pots of paint that don't look like proper
pots of paint. That's what snap together kits are for.
Yeah. So I think they should have picked a better subject choice.
Well, we'll see. I mean, they would have researched.
Remember, to kids today, a Jaguar E-Type may as well be like a horse and carriage.
Look, a modelling company like Airfix is not going to go just pull their finger out of their ass and go, I think we'll build a Jaguar E-Type. There would have been some...
If they were smart, they'd build something like a Jaguar F-Type.
No, there would have been...
more modern.
I don't know. They would have looked at this as to... And there's a reason why they've done it this way. I think you'll find. You don't commit thousands and thousands of dollars to the production of a new model without going into a little bit of research as to what your target audience is, especially when they're designing it like the way they say they're designing it to be built.
Yeah, but you have to remember that they're still compromising for the average Airfix modeler who wouldn't have an interest in a more modern Jaguar, right? So they're getting their wires crossed on this one.
I think we'll no.
Agree to disagree?
Yeah, I think we're going to have to on that one.
Okay.
I think we're going to have to. Just look at me sticking up for Airfix. Ship kits. Trumpeter will release a 1/700 scale, the Kriegsmarine Gneiss chute.
Eisenhower, the G silent.
Okay, Ian.
Get Eisenhower.
The Eisenhower battleship in October 2022. The kit comes with small PE fret, anchor chains. Hobby Boss have announced a 1/350 scale kit of the US. Hang on, wait for me, yawn. US battleship Missouri, BB-63.
What's wrong with them? What's wrong with them?
How many of the Missouri class have been kit manufacturers done?
You got Tomea.
Yep.
You've got Verify, which I've got, which is an awesome kit.
Yes.
I'm
sure Monogram have done one.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be 1/350.
No. There's lots of 700 scale subjects on it.
Yeah, but this is 1/350.
Yeah. Don't know, Hobby Boss. You could have picked a better one in my view. But anyway, as well as the plastic, there are turned aluminium barrels for the main armament, anchor chains, and 5 frets of photo etch. The kit also comes with a display stand, which may or may not be a selling point as Hobby Boss, as much of a selling point as Hobby Boss thinks it is. Well, it's good that they've chucked all that stuff in because that's, as you and I know, Ian, buying that stuff aftermarket just doubles the price.
Triples.
Yeah. So long as the photo etch is good photo etch, I think it'll be okay.
Yeah.
So,
well,
yeah.
I've had good Hobby Boss photo etch and I've had bad Hobby Boss photo etch.
And thank you to the listener who sent me the link showing the USS Texas being towed around for repairs.
I saw that on Facebook.
Yeah,
that's now in dry dock.
Yeah, it's somebody, oh gosh, I can't remember which one of our listeners, forgive me for not remembering the name, but they sent me an email showing that.
But it looks so good in dry dock now. You can actually see the big bulges on the side and everything. It just looks amazing.
I thought you looked good moving through the water, even under tow.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
Totally agree.
Yeah. Anywho, military vehicles. Hope Ian hasn't got as far as attaching the wheels to the build of his Copper State Models Lanchester armoured car.
No, I haven't. Because
CSM are now working on 3D printed wheels for Lanchester, which have incredibly thin scale-like spokes. They look really, really good, says the Falcon. I mean really good. And are orders of magnitude better than the kit's original styrene wheels. Might be worth postponing the build till they are available.
Well, I did because I lost the rear suspension, didn't I? And then did the big noob thing of forgetting to put the radiator inside the body before gluing everything up. So that's been put back in the box. I've got a replacement one. So now, when I saw that during the week that the wheels came out, so I'll be doing an special order to get some wheels.
So the modelling gods must be trying to tell you something. Yeah, there you go. The Falcon says, I didn't know it, but apparently it's Leopard Week. In the past week, 3 1/72 scale kits of the Leopard 2 have been announced. Meng were the first with their Leopard 2A7. Vespid models were next with their Leopard 2A7 Plus. And Trumpeter joined in with a Leopard 2A4. Meng kit is an all-plastic affair with Lincoln length tracks. The Vespid kit is a bit more complex with a turned barrel, photo etch fret, and a steel toe cable, also with link and length tracks. And Trumpeter gives you rubber band tracks. So if you have a hankering for a Leopard 2 and aren't all that fussed about exact variants, you can choose whichever kit suits your preferences. Ilaria adding yet another 135th scale T34 to their lineup. This time it is a T34/76 model 1942, and it's a premium edition. The kit comes with both link and length and gluable rubber band style tracks. You also get a photo etch fret, turn barrel, and representation of the engine and transmission. The kit, as it should, also provides 2 types of road wheels, and there are 6 decal options apparently. Micromedia about to release a 135th scale kit of the 13-inch Dictator Seacoast mortar. Know nothing about this subject, but looks like it might have been used in the American Civil War.
Could be an interesting.
Yeah. I'm just wondering whether 35th scale is the right scale for it. But anyway, yeah, it probably is actually when they come to think of it. IBG models are releasing 5 1/72nd scale armour kits in September. There's going to be a Centaur tank dozer, a Toldi, Panchlavazda Hungarian tank destroyer, a Type 95 Hargo Manchurian suspension Japanese light tank, a Lancia 3-row Italian truck troop carrier, and an A10 Mark I British cruiser tank. We got through that with not too bad. Hobby Boss have announced some new 35th scale kits for release in October 2022. The German Army BPZ-3 Buffalo tank recovery vehicle, a German WW World War II Burger Panther OS-FG Late, and a Scammell Commander with a 62-ton crane and a Fruhoff semi-trailer. Trumpeter 35th kits for October 2022 include the Russian 2 S35-1 Kolossia CV KSH, another one of Trumpeter's gun and the truck models, a Maz 545 transporter with semi-trailer, a German 8.8 centimetre or 88 flak 36/37 with crew, and lastly an Iron Dome air defence system. Speaking of the Iron Dome air defence system, Magic Factory have said that their first 3,000 kits of their Iron Dome kit will include 2 female IDF figures. Can't help but notice, but when it comes to figures of female IDF personnel, it's always funny how often they resemble Gal Gadot. Earlier this year, Academy announced some new 135th scale armour kits. A couple look very close to release, as Academy have shown pictures of built models and some information about marking options. The first of them is an SD KFZ 251/1 OSFC half-track. It is difficult and probably not fair to make judgments on a kit from a photograph, but from what we see is that the 251 has more common welded hull, which should be popular. There are some questions about the drive sprockets, as the roller teeth don't appear to have the correct offset. Also, the rubber pads in the Indy Link tracks show some pretty deep sink marks. Though if it turns out Academy have got the dimensions and angles correct despite the niggles mentioned, it would make one of the best 251s going around. The kit comes with 3 figures apparently, which has drawn some criticism. One manning the machine gun, one jumping from the vehicle looking a bit ordinary. But the third figure, the one outside the vehicle, attracts the most attention. He's prancing about like a chorus boy from Springtime for Hitler. Not very Übermenschenisch. The other kit is a Panzer IV OS-FJ Early, which looks pretty decent. It has moulded in Zimmerit, which looks convincing. The tracks are of the rubber band type, which will please some and not others. Overall, it doesn't seem as detailed as the offerings from other manufacturers, but if you want a simple build at a lower price point, it would be just what you want. Finally, we have to say farewell to 2 well-known aftermarket companies. Archer Decals and Tiger Model Designs are closing their doors. Sad to see them go, as they both turned out great products. We wish them all the best for whatever they do in the future, and that's it all from the Falcon.
I heard about Archer.
Yeah, and I heard another one, Tommy's War.
Archer surprises me because that's where you get the
Rub-on stencils and rub-on markings.
Don't they also do the rivets?
Yes.
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 Yes, I do.
I see Edward's getting into that now too.
Okay. They're closing the gap in the
And
market.
as I was saying, Tommy's War figures will be closing their doors as of I think mid next year. So no more fantastic World War One figures.
Archer might have decided to get out of the game because of Edward sort of encroaching on their territory. Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe. Just speculation. With the other one, what was it called? Tiger Model. I've built one of their kits. They were pretty decent kits. I mean, there were some parts about it that I didn't like, but they were very unique. A lot of like modern French armor type stuff was in their stable. One of their kits was done by Trumpeter. They did like one of those Russian modern anti-aircraft truck type things.
Oh, yeah, yep.
And one of the Typhoon variant ones, and it was kind of unfortunate that they did that, and then Trumpeter brought one out directly after it, I think, and it's like, okay. And then the war in Ukraine started happening, and obviously that's sort of probably soured a bit of their sales on that kit.
No doubt.
So they did some interesting things. So even though I didn't like their sprue gates on the one kit that I built of theirs, what I thought was great was on their French main battle tank they did one of those things where it's got like the captive outturned aluminium gun barrel inside a plastic piece molded onto the sprue. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
The only other news I've got is to mention is a good friend out at KLP Publishing, building the British Phantoms Volume 1 is now out. It's a 366-page ebook, which talks about the specifics, guides you through the specifics of building the FG-1 Phantom, which the Royal Navy Fleet Air Arm used. So that's
running at about 6 kit builds, 20 colour profiles, 20 Australian dollars. That's a bargain.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bargain.
Don't forget to go to www.klp.com.au for that. And I'm sure our good mate will look after you. Our good friends out there at KLP Publishing will look after you.
Edward has dropped what their October releases are.
Yep.
The dual combo midway set for the F4F Wildcat.
Yes. We're expecting that though, weren't we?
Yes. A6M30 Type 32.
Right.
Which is a clip wing. Z326 Trenner Master, which is a dual combo. And what else they got? The 48 scale Focke-Wulf 190 A8 Weekend Edition. And a Profi Pack MiG-21 PFM.
Very cool.
Which has got German Luftwaffe markings and shark's teeth.
Oh, that'd be awesome, dude. What scale is that in?
172nd.
Okay. It'll still be interesting something to do anyway.
Yeah. So that's Edward's got coming out next month.
Cool bananas. All right, I think what we'll do now is have a very short break, and then we'll have a chat with Dave Lockhart, the IPMS US president.
Should be quite interesting.
Hang on, let me say that again. The US IPMS president.
Correct.
I didn't mean he was president of the US and also IPMS. Anyway, he knows what I mean. We all know what I mean. Back very shortly. Whether you build aircraft, armour, ships, science fiction, cars or figures, the Fine Scale Modeller magazine provides the how-to information you need to take your modelling to the next level. In each issue of Fine Scale Modeller, you'll find clear how-to features on model assembly and finishing written by experts, reviews of the hottest model kits and products, tips and techniques for assembling, painting and finishing, as well as inspiring photos of readers' models. To find out how you can get your copy of Fine Scale Modeller, go to www.finescale.com. And it's with great pleasure that we are joined today by IPMS USA President David Lockhart. David, how are you, mate?
I'm great. It's a pleasure to be with you guys, and it was even a better pleasure to see you all in Omaha.
Oh, Matt,
Totally agree.
We had so much fun in Omaha, and I've never been to a show that was so fantastically run. It was just seamless from the point of view of the entrant, and everything was just absolutely seamless. And kudos to IPMS U.S.A, kudos to the local club that ran it and all the organisers there. It was just a heck of a lot of fun.
Yep, we didn't want to leave.
Yeah, it was. This is my 10th IPMS meeting, and this was the best so far. The last one we were at was in Chattanooga, which was before the pandemic, and I was in charge of the seminars, and I didn't get to enjoy the meeting because I was running around like a crazy man trying to get everything organized. I was still running around like a crazy man, but it was a lot of fun there.
All right, so what we might do, we might kick off by just stepping back, and if you can give us a little bio on yourself, because I'm sure there might be some people who don't know who David Lockhart is. So who is David Lockhart? Where did he come from, and what did he do, and where is he now?
Well, I grew up in Massachusetts, which is in the northeast of the U.S., and we moved to Atlanta 32 years ago for a job. Been married 45 years, got 2 kids, 3 grandchildren. And like many folks, I started modeling when I was young, probably 7, 8 years old. And I did it quite prolifically until I get into high school and started dating and got college and got married and raised a family. Didn't do any modeling until I was about 35. I tried to get my son involved, and he had no interest in it. So I said, "To hell with it! I'll just keep your models and build them."
Good move.
And I've been doing it for the past 32 years.
Wow,
fantastic!
And do you have a particular genre that you really enjoy building, or are you sort of all over the place?
Well, my favorite genre is sailing ship models.
A man of great patience.
Yeah, I really like working on them. The only problem is that they're very big, and we don't have room for a whole lot of them. So I've got the Constitution that's been sitting in the case for about 15, 20 years I'm finishing. But like many models, I get distracted by shiny objects. So, I see a model like this year. I bought the F4F from Edward at the meeting. And will I build it? Well, I'm going to build every single model in my stash according to what I want to do, but who knows?
So with your ships that you build, I'm curious, is that the plank-on frame style, or is it the plastic ones?
It's plastic ones.
Right.
Yeah, I have one wood ship model, which I'm going to attempt because I'm president of the local Atlanta shipbuilding club, and they're all wood shipbuilders. They're a lot older than us. They're all in their mid-70s or older. And if you think our hobby's an old hobby, you should see the wooden ship guys.
Yeah, exactly.
But, I mean, their idea of building a model takes anywhere from like 2 to 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
So it's a whole special skill set and patience required.
Oh, absolutely. You have to steam the wood and bend it and shape it and all that type of stuff. And the Nautical Research Guild, which is like the IPMS equivalent for wood shipbuilders, they're part of IPMS. And occasionally we get a wood ship model at the show, but we didn't get any this year. Yeah. Now, that's interesting. I think we might circle back to that and talk about that later, because I'm curious as to how you'd go about judging something like that in an IPMS show.
Well, that's a difficult part, because usually the wood ship models are, so superbly crafted. Sometimes they outshine the plastic ones, even though the plastic ones are of course, very creative and masterpieces in their own sense. So it's hard. And we're hoping that if we get more wood ship models, we can get some of the wood ship guys to judge them at the meetings, something that's more in their expertise.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. So you're the current IPMS president of the US. How did that path wind out?
Well, I always say that I was in a meeting, I went to the bathroom and came back and was president.
That's usually how it works.
Yeah.
No, for about 5 years prior, I was they call it director of local chapters, and that's the person that, we have about 222 chapters in the U.S. that helps manage them, helps get them rechartered and working like that. And the opportunity came up to run for president, and I did. And obviously, they voted on something other than looks, so that's why I'm here now.
Mm. And I guess this is a fantastic point in the interview to just perhaps for those people who don't know or don't understand exactly what is IPMS.
Well, IPMS is an organization that we cater to the model builder, and it used to be specifically plastic, but there's other medium coming in. But our goal is to promote the hobby, to help the people enjoy it, to run our national shows, to help with the local shows. Again, we have about 222 chapters, and we have about 4,300 members in our organization. So it's like running a small business or a medium-sized business. And really our goal is to make modeling better for the modelers and to attract new modelers into the organization.
Mm. And of course you run those fantastic shows that we've managed to have a look at and the opportunity to sort of attend, which was, wonderful. It is IPMS, and I'm talking about worldwide, and I know I'm asking you to sort of talk on behalf of the whole world, but certainly you can give the view from where you sit in the US. Do you think it's still a relevant thing?
Oh, absolutely. Because, it's like, I always compare that people say, well, I don't need to go to school. I can just study the books at home. But I think we as people like to be in groups of people. We like to be social. And, there's plenty of modelers that build their models by themselves. They put them on the shelf and they never see anybody. But I think for the most part, modelers like to be with other modelers. They like to show what they're building. And we provide, and IPMS worldwide provides a venue for people to get together and share their passion for the hobby. And, a little structure doesn't hurt. And it really helps grow the hobby, and it really helps get fellow modelers together.
And some of the benefits also of being a member of IPMS, in particular, say the US, and I know Canada and the UK are the same, and I can't speak for the rest of the world, but you get access to things like a quarterly magazine, which is of quite a high standard.
Yeah, the big things is that we help, we put on the national show, which is obviously you guys know is a big deal. We help with the local shows. We help organize and help out chapters. And one of the biggest, and we have a journal, but one of the biggest advantages is we provide insurance for shows. God forbid you would need it, but insurance is something very important to have, especially when you get large groups of people together.
Definitely.
Yep.
So then people don't feel like they're liable personally, that an organization is behind them to help them out if something happens.
And that can be a huge speed bump for any club wanting to set up a small show or something like that if they're outside the IPMS umbrella, stumping up the cost of the insurance, because it's not cheap these days.
No, it's not. And a lot of venues do not allow groups to have shows unless they do have some sort of liability insurance.
Yeah, it's the same pretty much over here as well, yeah.
But, most members don't really understand that. They just, they get their magazine, they go to the shows, but they don't understand that there's a whole group of people behind the scenes that are making that possible. And we try to be as seamless as possible to make sure that everybody's focused on their models and building and shows and getting together with guys.
I'm constantly amazed because you mentioned you have around 4,300 members, which seems to be, to me, on the small side for the US. and given you got 220 chapters, and I'm wondering if I guess it's something to do with that particular hobby. Even though we've got social media now and, YouTube and podcasts and Facebook and all that sort of stuff, it still strikes me as to how insular the hobby is and how many people are out there just sort of beavering away in their basements or in their build rooms, and, they may be a member of perhaps a Facebook group or something like that, but that's about as far as it goes. And I always like to use the example here in Melbourne, Australia. I mean, we've got maybe a dozen clubs, I think, if we're lucky, but the membership wouldn't be more than about 10 or even 20 of each. And yet we've got about 40 or so, sorry, I beg your pardon, we've got about 16 or so brick and mortar hobby shops, which says to me there's a huge group out there that we're sort of not connecting with yet.
Absolutely. And we're trying, John Bonani, who is our second VP, and, he's with the plastic posse guys.
Yeah.
We're working on improving our exposure in social media. Now, let's face the facts. Most of the modelers many don't know how to use the computer, period.
Yes.
They don't know what Facebook is. They don't know what Instagram is. They certainly aren't going to get on TikTok. Yeah, that would be scary. But our goal is to through the low, and we don't have as many hobby stores anymore in the U.S. as we used to, but to start promoting ourselves in all the hobby stores and working with the vendors. We're currently working with like Sprue Brothers, which is the largest model distributor in the U.S. To work out something where we can, put information out through them, because they ship out about 30,000, packages a month.
Wow. 30,000 a month.
Yeah, they're huge. They're big. So working with those vendors, working with other vendors, trying to have a relationship with Fine Scale Modeler, and just letting people know that we're out here, and if you want to be part of a modeling group, this is the place to go.
Mm. Yeah, I always think of the sort of the models that are not joined in with the sort of larger community as being sort of like doomsday preppers of, like they know, it's not like a lot of them will know that there's things that go on, but they prefer to wheel away in their own little corner.
Antisocial.
But speaking from the Melbourne perspective, we do see them at Model Expo, because we get a whole heap of people coming in, and but they're just not club members. And I guess maybe it's just life that's just too busy these days. I don't know.
Well, sometimes they have joined in the past, and then they've moved away from it because some dramas happened, and they've decided, I'd rather not have the drama.
Mm.
Yeah, that's true. There's been, anytime you get a group of people together, we're all humans, and there's sometimes going to be drama. Sometimes it's, from my viewpoint as the president, some of these issues, it's like, a bunch of grade school kids fighting over something.
Yeah.
We see the same people that come to the shows but don't belong to any clubs, and you can't force people to belong to a club. So you try to make it as inviting as possible. And if they join, fine. If they don't, well, we'll see them at the shows, and, maybe someday in the future.
Yeah, exactly.
And we're also, there's, as you guys know, and of course, Australia is the same, it's a big country. And, there's a lot of modelers out in areas that are very remote and don't have many modelers that they could have a club. So the goal is, in the next year or so, is to develop some, Zoom clubs, so modelers can join in and show their models. So we have a virtual club that offers for those who can't get to a, in-person club. And I know people are sick of Zoom after 3 years of the pandemic, but it's a real powerful tool to get together with people.
Oh, that it is.
Mm. Well, we found that because we ran our club meetings on Zoom during the pandemic, and by and large it was pretty successful. But you know, at the end of the day, you still miss that sort of one-on-one interaction, because the trouble with Zoom is you can only have one conversation going at once, whereas at a club meeting you can have 4 or 5 different conversations going on at the same time.
Well, I mean, those of us who have been to a model club in person know that there's no there's no comparison between the two. But if all you've got is the Zoom meeting, then
better than nothing.
Yeah, it's better than nothing. Better than trying to strike up a conversation with a stranger and them being completely uninterested in your weird little hobby.
Yeah.
And probably like a lot of your meet clubs, we have our meeting and then we go out for dinner afterwards. So it's a very social way to interact with fellow modelers. And, we have guys that come to the meeting and I don't think they built a model in 25, 30 years.
Yeah.
But they still like to come. They still like to participate. So we welcome the non-builders and the builders. You always have one guy in your club that seems to build a model a week. And there's others like myself who really struggle to put out 2 or 3 a year.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
I have all these. I retired last year, and I thought I was going to have, I was going to go through my stash quick. That did not happen.
No.
Don't tell me that, because I'm looking forward to retirement so I can just shoot through my stash. But
yeah. It's a common story. Like people always saying, when I retire, I'm gonna dig into my models, and I'm gonna really enjoy myself. And most of them usually don't. I'm always told this story of this one guy who did, and he ended up getting deep vein thrombosis because he was sitting at the bench all the time, every day.
Well, I told someone last year I retired in August, and they said, "How's retirement going?" It was really good. And then my wife retired in December, so things changed. It's going pretty well, but being president takes a lot of time. It takes more time than I originally thought, but I'm enjoying it very much. And one of my favorite things is to talk to modelers, and all you have to ask them is what you're building, what's on your bench, and you start talking about models, and guys will talk to you for a long time.
Oh, definitely.
For sure. So, I guess we can't sort of not have you on the show and sort of not talk about some of the, what do I call, stones in the shoe, for want of a better word, to do with IPMS in particular, have sort of popped up in. And that always comes up after each sort of big model show, and that is the judging. Now, to my mind, I look at the IPMS national shows as being, in your case, it would be like the Super Bowl of modelling. In Australia's case, it is the
grand final.
AFL Grand Final of football. It's the premier sort of top of the league sort of thing. What's your view on the current discussions that have been had recently on judging at IPMS? And I'm not particularly zooming in on the issue of the individual judges at all. I'm talking about the actual process. And do you think it's time that we started looking at perhaps having a good look at how we do that and maybe moving to a different method?
Absolutely. I mean, we've been doing the same thing for a long time, and it's a pretty arduous process. We have, about 150, 60 judges. It takes about 6 hours to judge about 3,000 models. And we can't use the AMP system because the AMP system is, it would take way too long. We'd be in there for weeks. But we're looking at our new ways of doing it. I mean, ideally, it would be great if we had everybody came in and they had a barcode on their model, and guys could go around with iPads and put up the barcode and enter in information, and it would be a lot quicker than going through it manually and writing everything down.
Oh, definitely, that's a great idea.
But
it's interesting you mentioned that, actually, because our local national show, what happened was they brought in a barcode system, and it still had a lot of bugs. But the idea is that you would do your pre-registration, and then it would give you a QR code that they could then scan and use to assign you to the various categories and things like that.
Which worked quite well, actually.
Yeah.
Well, it's in its infancy, you know.
Yeah, that would be ideal, and we're just trying to find, we're trying to find something or some company or something that could do that, and would be cost effective and something that we could bring into our system.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a process, and someone's got to take hold of that and take that on as a task. So we are definitely looking to do this and make this more efficient and make this quicker. So we're working on it, and hopefully, I talked with, of course, this guy Lawrence Ferrugia.
Yes, Lawrence. Yep.
Yeah, and we're talking about comparing notes because sounds like some of the judging you guys do is pretty interesting. But with any organization that's been doing the same thing for 30 years, 40 years, you can't change things immediately overnight.
No.
And when you push, you get pushed back. That's part of the process.
And I think I think that having discussions with likes of Lawrence and that which raises a question: internationally, do you guys all get together and sit down and have a chinwag, or?
We're not yet, but my secretary, Rob Booth, has been reaching out. So hopefully the goal is to develop a database of all the international presidents and just start swapping ideas. We got a couple of guys going this fall into Telford, so they'll be able to mingle with, the Brits over there and get some ideas.
One of those is John, isn't it?
John Bonanni's heading over there, yeah.
John Bonanni and Rob Booth are going over. And I don't know if you guys have ever been to that show, but I don't think they have I don't think they have 3,000 models that they judge.
I think their show in Telford is more trade, and special interest groups are a big thing in the UK. And so that's where the special interest groups sort of come and show what they've been working on for the last 12 months since the previous show. And I think the other drawback with Telford, it's only on the weekend. It's a Saturday, Sunday. And from what I've heard and read, it's really difficult to get around the whole thing in just 2 days.
Yeah. But hopefully I get to go to that next year. I have to get permission from She Who Must Be Obeyed. But, a bunch of us were talking about you guys, and we were trying to figure out how much your whole trip costs. I said, you must have mortgaged your house or sold some of your bottles. I bet it was not a cheap vacation.
I think probably about $4,000 would be about an average sort of cost without the expenses on top. So just flights and hotels and that'd be about $4,000. Yeah,
and then the spending money.
And the spending money on top. Yeah. And of course, it depends. I mean, because Ian's drink bill would have been a lot higher than mine or Julian's.
Oh, definitely.
Well, I think Kentucky Dave and Mike, I think they provided plenty of adult beverages up in their rooms during the meeting.
We actually bought a couple of bottles with us as well.
Yeah.
At least I don't think he asked you to try his peanut butter bourbon. So.
No. Which I understand is more like should be treated as like a dessert whiskey rather than a straight up whiskey. Although I'm still scratching my head over, what sort of mental giant decided peanut butter and whiskey would be a good idea.
I don't know. He should have never mentioned it on his podcast. But we all know now.
Well, that's all Kentucky Day for you.
So when's the next show for you guys?
Well, Ian and I are heading up to Canberra in November. There's a big show up there, which we're really excited about and can't wait to get up there because Canberra is the capital of Australia, and it's also where the Australian War Memorial is, which is our big sort of...
it's our version of the Smithsonian, I suppose.
Well, yeah. And the Imperial War Museum mixed in.
Yeah, more the Imperial War Museum.
And they've got a great big off-site storage facility that holds all the collection that they can't display at the actual memorial. And on the Friday, we've got permission to go and have a look, so we're pretty excited about that because it's not normally open to the public. The other big one, well, I guess New Zealand's on the cards for us next year, so we're planning to get over and see our Anzac mates across the ditch. So that'll be in October next year, I think. And Ian's got plans to head back to Texas next year.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get back to Texas next year, so you'll have to put up with me for another show.
Well, we certainly welcome you. And, Texas in the first week of August is not going to be very cool. So probably going to be over 110 degrees all week.
It's like a Melbourne summer. So one thing that didn't bother me at all was the heat.
Yeah, that's right. I wasn't bothered by the heat at Omaha either.
Yeah.
Well, mind you, the humidity sort of bothered me a little bit.
Really?
Yeah, I'm always shocked by the humidity in central US because, it's something that you equate to the tropics. And
yeah.
I guess it's all the rivers and all the crop fields and everything just giving up all that moisture.
Years ago when I first started in sales in the 80s, I was at a hotel in Maine up in New England, and they must have been an Australian owner who ran the restaurant because he had placemats, and it was famous English criminals that got brought to Australia. And they listed them as they became governors and all these, prominent people in the start of Australia. I thought that was kind of funny because I think it backfired on the Brits.
Oh, it sure did.
Oh, it sure did.
So, David, what big plans or ideas have you got coming down the pike for IPMS USA?
Well, the first one is we did a new registration system, and Mike Oberholzer, our treasurer, was key in getting that. That's going to make a huge difference because now we can send out email blasts to the whole membership and keep them updated with the latest and not have to use snail mail. So we're going to start improving and doing new features in that. The fun part, quote unquote fun part, is we're updating our constitution and bylaws. So the goal is to make sure that the membership has more input on what's going on in the organization. We want to make our board very transparent and not let members think that we're like in an ivory tower not knowing what's going on. And John Bonani and Rob Booth and Len Pilhofer, who's going to be in charge of the San Marcos meeting, we're developing a committee that is going to be organizing the nationals to make it easier for chapters to have nationals. So we're getting someone that is a person that's going to be looking at hotels and meeting spaces and needs, and we're trying to make it more centralized so the local chapters aren't left with a heavy burden to put on the shows.
Yeah.
So, well, and running something the size of your nationals, it must be a heavy burden on the individual club, as well as a potential financial burden as well. And for a club to put their hand up and say, "Hey, we're going to commit to that," I mean, it's like a city saying, "Hey, we're going to run the Olympics." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a huge financial and administrative logistical burden, and I've got to applaud you for sort of putting things in place to perhaps ease that. But that then raises the other question: why not just have it centrally in the US all the time, over and over? Or do you move it around because, it gives people on the East Coast more opportunities against people on the West Coast and vice versa when you move it south or move it north?
Well, exactly. I mean, a lot of people on the East Coast won't come to a West Coast meeting and vice versa. So we like to have it move around a little bit so more members can attend the meetings. there's guys that are going to go to a meeting, whether it's in anywhere in the U.S. or if we put it in the North Pole, they would show up. But there's other guys who, they don't want to drive more than 4 or 5 hours or can't afford to fly. So we like to have other chapters and other locations have that ability. And our new committee is going to make that much easier. Unfortunately, it's so expensive now. It's hard to put these meetings on in the large cities like, Philadelphia, Boston, Dallas, Atlanta. So we have to kind of find the cities that are kind of off the beaten path a little bit that can make the shows a little more affordable.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to Wisconsin in 2024, and I've got plans to maybe try and get out to that one because it's not too far away from Canada, so I can drop Michelle off in Canada, then at her sister's place, and then shoot on down to Wisconsin. It's only about a 5-hour drive, I think, or 8-hour drive.
Oh, absolutely. We're looking forward to having it in Wisconsin, and they've never had anything that far north, so hopefully in August it won't be too hot up there, but I think it's going to be a great location, and hopefully we'll get more Canadians. I think the one in San Marcos, we're going to get probably a much larger contingent of the IPMS Mexico folks, and they're just terrific model builders. So hopefully we'll get to see more of them. And, we had guys you guys came from Australia, but we had some from Tahiti. And
yeah, that's right, yeah.
Yeah, he won a number of medal awards. So I guess there's not a whole lot to do in Tahiti if you don't want to go to the beach. So
that's right.
or reenacting the bounty. You only got a few things.
Oh, geez, that's funny.
We're really excited about it, and we're excited about our growth and the things to come. And I tell you what I was most excited about was having all the podcasters there. I think I've been a big podcast listener for decades, but this is going to really open up our hobby, and you guys are certainly the benchmark for it because you were the first one out of the blocks there.
Thank you.
I think that's why you were looked on as the special people at the meeting. Like I mentioned, I didn't get to see the Beatles come to the U.S., but you guys were pretty close.
Wow. That's gone a bit too far, I think.
No, we've got to admit, we were very humbled by the way how big our fan base was over there and how well we were treated by everyone. It was just amazing.
Yes.
It's not just that, it's also how much of an impact that we have that we don't realise.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what constantly sort of surprises me. And people coming up and telling you how our show or any other our podcast shows for that matter has helped somebody through a difficult time or during COVID lockdowns, how beneficial it was. Because we actually went to a weekly program for a short while there during COVID, during lockdown, which is difficult to do because it's not easy coming up with something to say every couple of hours every week. But nonetheless, we sort of had a crack at it. It was just a fantastic time, and meeting all of our people who listen to us and everything. It's still not big. Podcasting is still not in the same league as YouTubing. You get people who watch a YouTube channel and you see they've got about 15,000, 20,000 followers in the model thing.
Yeah.
And, in a podcast, you're struggling to get, maybe 4,000 per, or 10,000 sort of per month, which is, or a lot different to what the YouTubers do. But, it's slowly growing, and I think it's only through word of mouth where people who listen to the show then sort of, tell their mates or tell all their guys at their model meetings, hey, check out these guys. They're really great to listen to, and for all that matter, all the other podcasts. That's the only way we're going to grow.
What you guys should do is you should write an article, and we'll put it in our journal. There you go.
It's funny
who you are, and how we can listen to you and what you have to offer and all that. So I think that would be a big exposure to a lot of people who hadn't even thought of doing podcasts.
Definitely. That's a great idea. I just got my
my journal came this week. Yes,
yeah, a couple of days ago.
Was it the July August journal?
Yeah,
July.
No,
it's the one with the Gundam on the front of it.
Yeah, that just came in this week.
Yeah.
Well, you know what you should do though is when you write the article, go to the biggest and fanciest recording studio near you. Just have people think that that's where you record your podcast. So,
mind you, Dave's done a pretty good setup here.
Yeah.
A very good little setup here.
It's funny you mentioned YouTube. I watch YouTube model videos all the time. I mean, they're just so helpful. And, usually at night, my wife and I will lie in bed and we'll read. And she's reading and I'm listening to YouTube podcasts. And she goes, "How can you listen to that stuff?" I said, "Well, I have a choice. I could listen to this or I could listen to you."
Oh, you like living dangerously, clearly.
I do.
And that funny taste in your cornflakes in the morning, that's not milk that's slightly sour. I think that's probably an additive that's been put in there.
No, we've been together too long. So, we look at across each other at the table and we say, "Where are you going?" So we're good.
Exactly. You're stuck with each other.
No, we're stuck. That's fine.
Wow. Any sort of final things that you sort of want to raise or bring up with the listeners who are sort of tuning in and listening to us at all, David?
No, I really appreciate this opportunity, and I applaud you guys for doing such a good job. And just to let the modelers know, I know there's a lot of guys that listen to you, is that all you have to do is go to IPMSUSA.org, and we'll hook you up with a group if there's one locally. And we certainly would like to have you in the fold, but there's a lot of people here who have a passion of the hobby as much as a lot of people out there, and we look forward to getting together with them, and look forward to you guys. I mean, you guys offer so much, and not only is it entertaining, but it's very helpful and informative, and so we thank you for all the job that you guys do.
No worries at all. And again, I'd take my hat off to yourself and everybody else who runs any IPMS organisation around the world, because it's it takes you away from your modelling.
It can be a thankless task at times.
Absolutely, and it can be almost a second job. And the fact that there's people out there willing to do that is just wonderful.
And there's a lot of people putting the time in, and I have a terrific board, and I'm very, very thankful for that.
Wonderful. Dave, it's been wonderful having you on the show. Ian will catch up with you in Texas next year.
Yep.
I hope to see you in Wisconsin.
Absolutely. I look forward to listening to your future podcasts. And if you ever need anything on this side of the big pond, just let us know.
No worries. And likewise, if you need something over this side, don't forget to reach out. You got my email address, and always happy to hear from you, David.
Excellent. I appreciate it. And it was really a pleasure talking with you guys.
No worries.
Same with us, mate.
Thanks very much for being on the show. And we'll catch you next time we're in the US.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys. Have a good one.
See you. Bye. Well, it was really great hearing from David and what he had to say.
Sure was.
Such a nice guy.
He is a champion fella.
It was really good to... I know he was so busy over in Omaha, we didn't really get a chance to sit down and chat, but the 5 minutes and 10 minutes we managed to snatch and steal over the 4-day period, he was just such a nice guy to sort of sit and talk with.
Totally agree.
Yeah, and, not only has David, but I know that all of the people who are involved with IPMS, not only at the US but around the world, they're all committed to growing the hobby and, making it the best they can.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
All I can do is just encourage everybody to, if you haven't considered it, certainly perhaps have a look at what your local IPMS is within the country that you live in, and go and have a listen to it.
Yeah, totally.
I'll go and have a listen to them and go and join up, I should say.
Yeah. I'm really excited to hear about how he's putting the I in IPMS.
Yes. Really sort of bring the people back into the fold.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a fantastic initiative. So I've been interesting to watch that from afar to see how that sort of plays out. And I mean, that's the only way. You got to involve everybody, otherwise you're going to lose people. They're going to lose interest.
Fully agree with you, mate. Fully agree.
Well, okay, I think that's it for the show. It's been a great show. Don't forget, of course, there's a whole heap of other fantastic and wonderful podcasts to listen to. To find out where they are and what they're all about, just go to www.modelpodcasts.com, and it's got a listing of all the current shows that are available. And thank you, Stuart from Scale Model Podcast, who put this all together. I think that's about it from me.
Yep.
You got anything to add there, Ian? Or?
No, I'm pretty much done for the day.
All right, no worries. You're going to say goodbye to everybody?
Bye, everybody.
And birthday boy.
Yeah. Goodbye.
You guys are off to a birthday party tonight. A very good friend of ours, Seth.
I'm not.
I am.
You're not going to Seth's birthday?
No, I can't anymore.
Oh,
No.
you got your own plans for your own birthday.
Well, a friend of mine, I always, after we record this podcast, in the morning, I usually go to this particular friend of mine. So I see him every 2 weeks, and that's about right. Obviously he's expecting me after this, and I was going to miss that as well and spend my birthday at home. You know, maybe even building a model or two. But then he messaged me just during the podcast, and he said, "Oh, I'm cooking your dinner tonight." I'm like, "Okay."
Oh, there you go. Okay.
You roped in.
Well, happy birthday to Seth anyway, and have
Yes.
an enjoyable night. Sorry I can't make it there tonight, mate, but I've got a Father's Day dinner I'm off to, so... But I'm sure all the boys there, all the usual characters will be going.
Yes. The usual suspects.
Usual suspects, indeed. All right, that's it from us. We'll be back in a fortnight. In the meantime, have a great time modelling, and we will see you soon.